In Rome, a 3-day Cry for Peace summit organized by the Catholic Church is taking place right now. It's a cry for peace in Ukraine. Pope Francis will close the conference tomorrow, speaking inside the Colosseum. Pope Francis says Ukraine has the right to defend itself, but warned that providing more arms to both sides won't solve the dispute. Europeans, like Americans, are growing wary of the war in Ukraine. 1/3 of Europeans this summer said they want it done with. And now, with winter approaching and the cost of heating going up, along with the price of food skyrocketing, not to mention even more refugees pouring into Eastern Europe, calls to put an end to the fighting in Ukraine grow louder. Well, the president of France spoke at the Cry for Peace conference on Sunday. A few weeks back, Emmanuel Macron came under fire for suggesting that the road to peace is paved by providing a graceful exit for Putin, one that wouldn't leave him humiliated, kind of like what Kennedy did with Khrushchev to solve the Cuban Missile Crisis. But Ukraine's foreign minister, Dmytro Kuleba, said Macron was the one who was humiliating himself. He thought it was a bad idea. Henry Kissinger, of all people, the war criminal who is still alive because God doesn't want him. Back in May, Henry Kissinger, war criminal, said the road to peace is paved by concessions to Putin. Kissinger, the war criminal, said Ukraine must cede some territory to stop the killing. Kissinger, the war criminal, said that humiliating Vladimir Putin in Ukraine would only lead to more destabilization in Europe. Henry Kissinger, war criminal, said further war in Ukraine could be averted if the Russians were informally given Crimea, as well as some kind of influence over the eastern parts of Ukraine that Putin has now illegally annexed. French President Macron yesterday says there must be constant dialogue between Moscow and the West. Biden is not talking to anybody. Our Defense Secretary Austin is speaking with his Russian counterpart for the first time in a couple of weeks. Nothing going on in terms of negotiation. In his speech on Sunday, Emmanuel Macron, president of France, said the question of war and peace is ultimately in the hands of Ukraine. Macron went on to say, quote, "We want the Ukrainian people to decide at a certain point peace, the moment and the terms of peace." He went on to say, peace will be built with the other party, who today is the enemy. It will be built around a table, and the international community will be there. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for?